Hello everyone, hope you're doing good. So today we are going to learn about animals and their surroundings in chapter 2. So what are we going to learn about animals? The first thing is about their habitats. The word habitats is spelled as Habitats. So what are habitats? When someone asks where do you live, you give the address of your house, right? So you know all the human beings live in houses. Similarly, animals do have a specific place in which they live. Those places are called as habitats. Different animals live in different habitats. Those different habitats include forests, mountains, polar regions, oceans, seas, etc. So let's see some land animals. There's sheep, cat, dog, camel, crocodile, polar bear, cow, horse, pig, elephant, bear, giraffe, goose, cock, hen, fox, wolf, elk. So these are different kind of land animals. When we say animals, we also include birds, insects, reptiles, etc. Because animals is an umbrella term that includes all types of animals. The first topic we are going to learn about animals is the adaptation for movement. We all know human beings use legs for moving from one place to another, right? So likewise, different animals use different organs for movement. Some animals living on land have four limbs. We have seen cows, goats, sheep, horses, etc. have four limbs, right? So the front limbs are called forelimbs and the back limbs are called hind limbs. So animals such as horse, cat and dog use four legs to move, walk, run or jump. But animals like kangaroos use only hind limbs to jump, move or walk. But human beings, though they have four limbs, they use the hind limbs to walk. You know that the four limbs are called, that is FORE, the four limbs of human beings are called as hands. And certain animals like crocodile and lizards use short legs to crawl on the ground. They do not walk, they crawl on the ground. And you know snakes are reptiles. They do not have legs, right? So how do they move? They have scales on the underside of the body which grips the ground and helps them to move. And insects have three pairs of legs. So first we have seen about the movement of the land animals. Now we are going to see about the movements of water animals. Aquatic animals have fins, webbed feet and paddle-like limbs. So they need different types of organs to move in the habitats in which they live. When we see fishes, fishes swim through fins. We have seen fishes in aquariums or seas or rivers. Fishes are very common, right? So they swim with the help of their fins. Whales and dolphins have flippers for movements. They are also fins, but a different type of fin. Animals like frogs and ducks have webbed feet that help them in swimming. Frogs and ducks have fingers connected with each other, that is called as webbed feet, that helps them in swimming. Tadpoles and water insects use their legs to swim. Tadpoles are nothing but the younger ones of frogs. They use their legs to swim. Turtles and penguins use their forelimbs as flippers for swimming. Their forelimbs are little broader that may be used as flippers. So the next topic is movements of aerial animals. What are aerial animals? They live on land, but while moving they use the aerial path. That is, they move through air, through the sky. That is the great big example for aerial animal is bird. Birds can walk on land and fly in air. Some birds can even swim in water. Birds like crane, duck can swim in water. All birds have one pair of wings. We know whenever we hear the word bird, we associate them with wings, right? So they have one pair of wings. Most insects like butterflies, mosquitoes, bees, houseflies, and moths can also fly. Some birds such as kiwi, ostrich, and emu are unable to fly. So not all birds can fly, right? Certain birds like kiwi and ostrich, they cannot fly, hence they are called as flightless birds. The next thing we are going to see is adaptation for breathing. So all animals, birds, reptiles and amphibians in the adult stage breathe through a pair of spongy elastic bags called lungs. We human beings have lungs and breathe through lungs. We are very sure about that, right? So similarly, all animals, birds and reptiles, amphibians also have lungs through which they exhale carbon dioxide and inhale oxygen. Okay? And animals like fishes, tadpoles, shrimps, oysters, prawns and crabs breathe the oxygen dissolved in water through their gills. These animals do not have lungs. Instead of that, they have an organ called gills. And since they live underwater, they absorb the oxygen that is dissolved in the water. Insects breathe through their tiny holes called spiracles of their bodies. Insects, on the other hand, have tiny holes that are present on the surface of their body through which they inhale and exhale. Those holes are called spiracles. Adaptation for body covering. We all have skin. We know that skin protect protects our body, the flesh and bone underneath it, right? Similarly, all animals have body covering. Bodies of snakes, crocodiles and lizards are covered with snake scales, and even the body of fish is covered with scales. Have you ever seen your mother cleaning fish? You might have all eaten fish at least one time, right? Have you seen your mother cleaning the fish? She might have cleaned small, tiny, hard particles from the surface of the fish, and then she might have cooked. So, those tiny, hard particles are called scales. The bodies of snail and tortoise are covered with a hard shell, which they use for their protection. The bodies of the birds are covered with feathers. So we know birds have feathers that helps them to keep them warm and fly, right? So they are covered with feathers. The bodies of the mammals like dog, cat, goat and sheep are covered with hair or fur to keep them warm and protect their flesh, protect their body. Animals such as porcupine and sea urchins grow spines for self-defense. They have needle-like body covering to defend themselves from any attackers. The next thing is about adaptation of eating habits. Based on the eating habits, animals can be grouped into three types. The first type is herbivorous, carnivorous, and omnivorous. So herbivorous or plant-eating animals. They are pure vegetarians. Even in human beings, we classify people as being vegetarians and non-vegetarians, right? Similarly, all the animals, birds, and living beings are classified into herbivorous, carnivorous, and omnivorous. Herbivorous is plant eating animals, that is pure vegetarian. Carnivorous or flesh eating animals that are purely non vegetarian. Omnivorous or animals that can eat both plants and animals. For example, human beings are omnivorous. We eat both the plants and flesh, that is meat, chicken, etc. The next type of animals we're going to see about is rodents. The word rodents is spelled as Rodents. Rodents. So small animals like rats, squirrels and rabbits have short front teeth. So we all make fun of our friends who have short teeth, right? Like squirrels' teeth, rabbits' teeth. So these type of animals who have short teeth are called as rodents. They gnaw their food. That is, they don't eat their food, they gnaw their food. These animals are called as rodents. Migration. The word migration is spelled as Migration. Animals migrate in search of favorable conditions of temperature, food, and breeding grounds. So animals do need comfortable temperature because beyond a particular temperature they cannot survive, and they need a certain type of food and breeding grounds too. So in search of all these conditions, they move from one place to another, and that movement is called as migration. Example: Arctic tern, Siberian cranes, and caribou. So at the end of this lesson, we have provided a demo for doing the activity. Okay, so by seeing the demo, you can use your own creativity and ideas to do the activity. Stay home, stay safe. Happy learning!